Go through and go get this solve quadratics by factoring part one. And guys, this is kind of combining what we've done with what we've done with factoring and what we've done with quadratics so far. It just combines it. I'm going to go through here pretty quick, make this a short video. The filled in notes are on Blackboard, and you can always go back and watch this video and get things that you might have missed the first time through, and that's perfectly fine. That's a great thing about these videos. You can always rewind, re-listen, and see what's going on. All right. First example, it says solve x squared plus 6x minus 7 equals 0 by graphing. So what we want to do, there's a couple different ways we can solve this. We can plug x squared plus 6 minus 7 plus 6x minus 7. We can plug that into the calculator and look at the graph and look at the table, which is what I did to get these points. So negative 8 is 9, negative 6 is negative 7, negative 4, negative 15, negative 3, negative 16, negative 2, negative 15, 0, negative 7, 2, 9. I got those points straight. I plugged in the calculator and I looked at the calculator's table and I got those points. If I didn't have a calculator, you could solve this by plugging in your x value into your equation. So you'd plug it in there and you'd plug it in there. You could plug it in, and when you work that problem out, you'd get 9. Plug negative 6 in. When you work it out, you get negative 7. And if you look at your points and you look at them on the graph, you can see your parabola starting to form. And I'm going to try to draw a line through here. It's going to be pretty rough with this mouse. And it comes down here, and the graph went down here, and it's going to come up, and there we go. And it goes on forever in that direction, and it goes on forever in that direction. We have our parabola. I know that looks hideous, but you can see that, and if you use your calculator, you can really see it well. Okay, moving on to the next part. Now it says solve this by factoring. Okay, well, here we go. We've done this. We're pros at this. Rooftop factoring. Bam, bam. We can set the top up, get the bottom, which is 6x, actually. Negative 7x squared. The factors there are 7 and negative 1. 7x and negative 1. When I plug those in, group the first two terms, last two terms, factor it out, and I get to this point right here where I have x minus 1, x plus 7. We solved it. We have the correct answer. Now, when we're solving quadratics, there's another step you can add, and once you get used to it, it's easy. It's money. These two factors that we got x minus 1 and x plus 7. Because we're setting this equal to 0, if you go back and look at the beginning, we're setting this equal to 0, I want to know these specific points, these specific x values. And actually, it's where they cross the x-axis. X equals those points. So if I set x minus 1 equal to 0, x minus 1 equal to 0, I solve that, I get x equals 1. If I set x plus 7 equal to 0, I get x equals negative 7. So my two solutions here should be at negative 7 and at 1. And if you look at your table, I know it's not here, but on the calculator, if you look by point and how you graphed it, this should cross the x-axis at negative 7 and at 1. And that is how we're going to solve these quadratics using factoring. We can find these certain points. All right, and that's what the rest of these examples are going through and doing. These are a little bit easier. They already give you, okay, hey, here's one factor, it's x. Here's the other factor, it's x minus 9. So first thing I'm going to do is set x equal to 0. X equals 0. So 0 is a part of the answer. X minus 9 equals 0. So if I solve for this, I get x equals 9. I would add 9 to both sides. I would have x equals 9. So the answer here is 0, 9. That is your solution set. Again, it says give your answer in a solution set. A solution set is your brackets and your x values. You can separate them with commas and close it with brackets. There's your solution set. Number 2. X minus 1 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Well, I know right now my answers are going to be x equals 1 and x equals negative 1. So my solution set is x equals negative 1, x equals 1. Number 3, same type deals. Set this equal to 0. Set this factor equal to 0. You can see the work I did. I subtracted 6, then I divided by 2. I ended up with y equals negative 3. The other one, so we have 3y minus 4. 3y minus 4 equals 0. Added 4 to both sides, divided by 3, I ended up with 4 over 3. So if I took negative 3 and 4 over 3, that is my solution set. Put it in brackets, you got your answer. We have our solution. All right, I'm going to go over one of these examples. Let's Tell you what, we can just go through number 6. Again, I'll leave it here, so if you want to come back, pause so you can get these filled in notes. Guys, we're doing the same steps. If we always look for the first thing we always got to do is look for that greatest common factor when we're factoring now. So always look for that greatest common factor. Like number 4, we found that greatest common factor, and then I solved it out, set them both equal to 0, got my solution set. Right here, rooftop factored, got my 2 solutions, set them equal to 0, found that x equals -2, x equals 10. Number 6, rooftop factor. Here we go. So here's the equation given to us. We're going to rooftop factor. So we're trying to figure out when r is equal to 0. So if I rooftop factor, I got -48 r squared on top. I got -13 r on bottom. Factors of -48, you can play with them. Figure out that -16 and 3, those work. So I rewrite the whole equation. R squared minus 16r plus 3r minus 48. We can take an r out, so we take r out, so I have r minus 16. Over here, we can take a 3 out, so we take a 3, and we have r minus 16. So we did it correctly. So our answer is r plus 3, r minus 16. Last step, set this equal to 0. And like I said, again, the more you do this, I can tell right now if it's r plus 3, then the answer is going to be r equals -3. If it's r minus 16, the answer is going to be r equals a positive 16. Again, once you get to that point, your money, you have your answers in a solution set. We have -3 and 16. We're going to pick up here tomorrow. Hope you have had a good weekend, and we will talk to y'all soon.